We're speaking with Dr. Fabi Bagula, the superintendent of the San Diego Unified School District, to learn more about how you can set up your students for success. Whether they are in TK or finishing their senior year, there are things that parents, grandparents, and students should know to make the school year successful. And today we are discussing attendance. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's start in explaining how important is the attendance and engagement in the classroom.
So attendance is number one, right? If a child does not come to school, then of course they're not going to learn. And when I take a look at the numbers of like when children are absent, some of the highest numbers of attendance and absences happen in TK and kindergarten. That means children are 4 and 5 years old. That means they don't really have a lot of control whether they come to school or not. And I will tell you that as a principal, when I was out there trying to see when children would arrive late or not come to school, they would say, oh, well, my mom got a flat tire, or my mom woke up late, and they would actually just tell us your secrets. But it's one of those things of how are we modeling the responsibility that comes with coming to school every single day and being engaged. And so I see this as a model for young children, especially once I start to look at junior high and high school of are we teaching children the responsibility of coming every single day, and when there is an absence because there's going to be emergencies and illness, am I making up that work? Do I come to school and say, I was absent yesterday, what work do I need to make up? So again, it's the modeling of the responsibility of something that they have to do daily.
It can be funny, right, that they say, oh, my mom this and the other, but
yes.
At the same time, we have to remember that children tell everything.
Oh,
so,
yes, I've heard some
as you
secrets.
Said, give the example, right, set the example. Now, how can parents precisely track the attendance, right, also with the students, but also track it with the teachers?
So we do a pretty good job of communicating when a child is absent. And of course, sometimes if you get a phone call or a text, we always need to know whether it was an illness or a family emergency. So we do need that communication. But the other thing that needs to happen is I'm going to stay with the same subject as the earlier question, which is how do I then make up the work? What lesson did we miss? Is there something that we can watch on YouTube to actually go over a lesson? That's the part that I'm most concerned about, because when I see when children are behind, it's the fundamentals that they've learned when they were young that are missing. And so I just keep thinking about like, how might we partner? So if an absence is necessary, how do we then make up the learning that happens in that day?
And last, let's talk about the progress the school district has made after the pandemic, after the chronic absenteeism.
So we have been working very actively on chronic absenteeism. As you said, the pandemic did cause a lot of that, but we've been partnering with a lot of different organizations across San Diego. One of my favorite partners happens to be the Padres. And so they have these perfect attendance assemblies, and then they bring out the players and the fryer comes out. And so it's really exciting to have children have like a healthy competition about coming to school every day. So I appreciate that all of the San Diego said, this is something that's important to all of us. How do we make sure that children come back to school and understand that school is safe and that they need to be there? So I just want to say thank you to all of our organizations and partners across San Diego. That's what we need in order to thrive.
Motivation, right? Whatever
Yes.
gets the kids to school out of bed, right?
Yes, agreed. Yes.
Out of the warm blankets.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here today. Let's
Thank you.
continue this conversation to help parents and students to have a successful school year.
Yes, please. Thank you.